Hello there, my name is Valerie White Williams and I'm a voice teacher and a vocal coach for Vocal Splendor Studios. Today I'm doing another reaction and back to Beste Zangers. This time I'm reacting to Joe Buck performing one of my favorite Prince covers, Sometimes It Snows in April. All right, let's have a listen.
Tracy died soon after a long-fought civil war. Just after I'd wiped away his last year. I guess he's better off than he was before. A whole lot better off than the fools he left here.
Interesting. I've had this on my playlist for a long time because I love Prince. It's one of my most favorite songs. But yeah, it's talking about that. Okay, hopefully I can make it through, but you'll know what happens as I keep going. And the thing I love about Joe, he has such a beautiful voice. I know he's a huge fan of John Denver. I love John Denver too. I like all kinds of music. John Denver was a beautiful artist. So it's an interesting juxtaposition, doing it in more of a John Denver style, but it was a Prince, which tells me when you have such a great song, it can be reinterpreted in different ways, meaning the different style. And it sounds really like a country song, which is so interesting.
I used to cry for Tracy 'cause I was my only friend. Those kind of cars don't pass you every day. And I used to cry for Tracy 'cause I wanted to see him again. But sometimes life ain't always the way. Sometimes it snows in April. Sometimes I feel so bad, yeah. Sometimes I wish that life was never ending. But all good things, they say, never last.
Oh my goodness, I'm barely keeping it together because I miss Prince too. Totally. I really cried when he passed. He was like one of my musical soulmates. When I first heard him, I was like, who is this guy? Changed my life. And this is what a great song can do. And this is also what I love about Beste Zangers, is that people are given a real permission to think out of the box and take a song and change it up. I love that because great songs live the test of time and they can be reinterpreted in a way that makes it sound different. This arrangement is gorgeous. I love the little keyboards behind there. Marcel Fissel Band is, I'm always blown away on how they can craft these beautiful arrangements. And I love his stripped down guitar. It's so honest and so appealing. And who knew that I was going to experience a death, because I've had this saved since like the fall to do. Let's keep going.
Springtime was always my favorite time of year. A time for lovers holding hands in the rain. And now springtime only reminds me of Tracy's tears. Always cry for love, never cry for pain. Sometimes it snows in often dream of heaven and know that Tracy's there. I know that he has found another friend. Maybe he's found the answer to all this April snow. And maybe one day I'll see my Tracy again. Sometimes it snows in April. And sometimes I feel so bad, yeah. Sometimes I wish that life was never ending. But all good things they say never last. Yeah, all good things they say never last. All good things they say never last.
Really. Lots of foreshadowing in that one, because I said I've saved that months ago. I've been really behind on my Beste Zangers for sure. But yeah, I think I forgot he was talking about losing somebody. But that's okay. That's okay. And I'm okay too. I am just feeling the grief. And that's what we should do. Our culture doesn't have grief rituals very much. And so I really feel like I need to speak to that and speak to what's on my journey with my grief, losing my husband of 35 years. Lots of things, all good things, don't always land this test of time. And you guys may not know, my husband was a kind of a world-class drummer. He has written books, he's written courses, he's played on so many albums. So all his students and all his colleagues have really been grieved by his sudden and unexpected loss, because it came up out of the blue. No one really knew it was happening, and we had no warning. But that's where it is. But here's the deal. Music is healing. And so I'm committed to continuing teaching and making videos. And if I cry, I cry. It's just the way it is. So let's go back to Joe Buck and the beautiful arrangement of the Marcel Fissel Band. Joe is just kind of that throwback. He's just a beautiful soul. I love his voice. I can see the John Denver influence. And I think also Prince. That's why I had to do this, because this is one of my favorite Prince songs, although there's so many that I really like. And it translated so well in that acoustic guitar. And I love the little, like almost the Africa, like Toto Africa sounds. It's the keyboard made it a little bit more contemporary, but still had that kind of acoustic sound. That's why they're so brilliant. And the backing vocals, it was just gorgeous. And his voice is so honest and pure. Now, I've heard him sing the duet with Rule. I think I'm saying his name right. Rule. And he could really belt and do a lot of rock singing too. So he's very versatile. But I love, this is a very introverted song. It's not an outward song. It's one that it's thoughtful. It's thoughtful. But this song has a sense of hope. It's a hope that, even though they're gone, we are going to see them again, and they're out there. They're back there, and we can still sense them. And I have a friend who is a grief counselor. I've known her for a long time, and she knows my husband Gary too. And she just says that death is just a different type of relationship. They're not gone, but we have a different relationship with them. So I'm holding that in my heart. It's going to be a long journey for me. But again, music is healing. And I'm so grateful that I'm in the music industry. I teach voice. I teach people music. I love talking about music in these videos. I'm a music nerd. I was that nerdy person who got A's in all my music classes because I was just loved it. I thought I wanted to be a choir teacher, but I realized that I didn't have the personality for it. Not that I wouldn't enjoy the kids, but I don't like telling them. I'm not a good policeman. I don't like to have to police people and tell them to be quiet and stuff like that. So I kind of realized early on that choir wasn't for me. And I think taking a bunch of kids on all these trips, I think that would have been hard for me. So I'm really great working with one-on-one, although I do a lot of coaching and adjudicating on the side. I'm going to be going and adjudicating probably about 30 singers in a school district and listening to them and giving them scores. And I usually do some duets and ensembles too. So yeah, that's why this is somewhat easy for me, because I have been a paid adjudicator and I've adjudicated so many singers I've lost count on how many, so I can talk about music. But normally now I'm actually talking more about myself, which is kind of weird. But I guess the thing about music is that you can only interpret it through your filters, your ideas. And that's why I just love this show so much, and that community building, and then the singing songs for each other. It's just so heartwarming. And Joe, I know he was probably the young guy in this group, but he held his own. And he's just so honest and sincere, beautiful voice, can sing that country kind of folk sound as well as rock out. So I think this is great. And I'm still like shaking my head that I had saved this already. Yeah, all those timelines. All right, so if you love Joe Buck and Beste Zangers as much as I do, make sure you subscribe and click on the bell so you get notified of all of my uploads. And I also want to let you know of my free groups that I have on Facebook. The first one is called YouTube Success Strategies, and that's where I'm coaching people on how to be successful on YouTube. Because, I guess it was a perfect storm for me, because I did have some HTML, SEO background. I've done some film work and stage work, and it just kind of all came together. And so now I have multiple channels, and I'm actually helping people figure out YouTube, because it's not intuitive. People think it's all about making good content, but it's a bit more than that if you really want to grow. And so you can find that in the description below. And then also my heart group is Creative Soul Alignment, and that's for people that are interested in spirituality and creativity. Because here's the deal, we are all creative and we are spiritual beings, and we are here right now on this planet to create a world that works for all of us without creepy, unelected people telling us what to do. Now, once we all get on game with that, we visualize a world that will work for everybody without the control grid going on, then we're going to change this world. So that's what I want you to keep in mind. All right, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.